Hello, my name is Midshipman Ricardo Olivares, 2nd class, and this is my steering gear test video for the Shipboard Systems 2C project. As you can see, we've just entered the steering gear room, which houses all the electrical and mechanical components of the steering gear. Prior to conducting a steering gear test, there are a few checks that must be made. Here, we are checking the sight glass of the hydraulic oil reservoir to ensure there are adequate levels for operation. After checking the oil levels, I move on to check the steering gear pump controller boxes, ensuring the pumps are online, as well as the autopilot, which indicates that the rudder can be remotely operated. Forward of the assembly are the controller boxes for pumps 1 and 3, which I'm currently checking here. Now I'm coming around on the starboard side to check the oil levels on hydraulic reservoir number 1. The sight glass is broken, so I'm simulating checking it in this video. Prior to conducting this steering gear test, the reservoir was sounded to ensure proper levels. Now that both hydraulic oil reservoirs have been checked, I work my way after the steering gear assembly to check the controller boxes for pumps 2 and 4. Here is a brief view of the steering gear assembly, which you will see in action here shortly. Here I am at the controller boxes for pumps 2 and 4, checking the same things I did on the boxes for pumps 1 and 3. As you can see, everything here is in good order. Now that both reservoirs and all 4 controller boxes have been checked, I head to the telephone booth to begin the steering gear test. Inside the telephone booth are 2 phones. The phone here on the right is a sound-powered phone, and the phone here on the left is a standard issue for the ship. On the wall of the booth, there is a directory for the sound-powered phone in gray, and the telephone in the white. When conducting a steering gear test, communications with the bridge are established via both phones to ensure there will always be a line of communication in case of an emergency. Additionally, each phone is equipped with a headset and microphone that is connected to a 40-foot wire, which is used to communicate with the bridge when locally controlling the rudder at the pumps. After establishing communications with the bridge, the steering gear test will commence shortly. The steering gear on board the MV Potomac Express is of the Rapson slide type and is equipped with 4 Mitsubishi Janie pumps that are of the motor-driven, variable displacement type and can operate at a capacity of up to 320 liters per minute. As you can see here, the bridge has started the steering gear test. Following standard procedures, the rudder is moved from 0 degrees to 30 degrees in both the starboard and port directions to ensure proper operations and range of motion of the rudder and steering gear. This steering gear assembly has 4 hydraulic pumps, but is designed to be able to operate on as little as 2 pumps. So the steering gear tests are conducted using only 2 pumps at a time, meaning in this test, likely pumps 1 and 3 are online, and once it comes back to center, and another test begins, likely pumps 2 and 4 are online, or vice versa. This is done to ensure if 1 or 2 pumps go offline, at least 2 more pumps will be able to come on from standby and compensate for that loss without losing any bit of ground or progress. This Rapson slide steering gear assembly consists of 2 hydraulic rams which are used to push the rudder in the desired direction. The hydraulic rams are the silver tubes on each side of the rudder here. Each ram is connected to the 2 pumps, with the port ram being lined up to pumps 3 and 4, whereas the starboard ram is connected to pumps 1 and 2. When operating, pumps 1 and 3 or 2 and 4 are online. This is done so there can be 1 standby pump for each ram in case one of the online pumps decides to fail. So right now, the rudder has moved back to the neutral position, or 0 degrees. Typically at this point, the steering gear test will be done. However, during this port call, pump number 3 was serviced by Mitsubishi technicians in Yokohama, Japan, as the coupling on the pump had failed during the prior Pacific transit. Not wanting to go out to sea under an improperly fixed steering gear pump, the bridge decided to conduct further operations on the steering gear to ensure proper operation. With pump number 3 being the one that underwent the repairs, this means that pump number 1 was also online for the extended testing. During the steering gear test, the first engineer and myself, the cadet, are making rounds of the space, looking for any leaks or abnormalities in the steering gear assembly that may need to be fixed prior to departure. Finally, this extended steering gear test is coming to an end. Now the camera pans to the steering gear pumps. That little lever right there that is moving in accordance with the rudder is the local control lever. Each of the 4 pumps has one of these. If the bridge were to lose remote control of the steering gear, it can still be operated down here locally with these hand levers.